And then I'm going to get into people's comments in just a second. So he says, being a world traveler is only fun if you have a career and a relationship to come back to. So I'm going to let him get his piece off, and then we're going to dissect this real quick.
Hey, bruh, I know a lot of young people fantasize about being a world traveler, being a digital nomad. Let me tell you something. I'm a world traveler since my mid to late 20s. And when I travel the world, I see a lot of these people traveling, and they all seem lost. Not that they don't know where they're going, but they're lost in life because they don't have any goals other than where am I going next. So world traveling is only good if you have a career to come back to, you have a home to come back to, and you have a relationship to come back to, and a community that you can come back to. So just keep traveling. You never make lasting connection. Yeah, I know people meet in other countries, and they ended up, getting married or whatever. Or because
I think that's one thing. I'm going to just stop it right here. That's one thing I definitely agree with, is when you are constantly moving around, it's hard for you to make real lasting connections with people, right? Because you're moving around. But I also think this too. As you get older, your lasting connections are not going to be like the connections you had in middle school and high school. Some of us are lucky to still have friends that we made when we were teenagers, and I'm 30 now. So I have the same group of homies that we've lived in the same neighborhood. We went to the same schools. We're still friends 15, 20 years later. I have never met any group of friends that are more familiar with me since after that. Like, everyone's kind of a bypassing acquaintance. I met a couple homies in college I'm still cool with. But out of all the homies I had in college, I might be cool with a handful of them where we still talk to each other at least weekly. Thank God for Instagram. You can send your homie stories and just start a conversation off of that. And it kind of keeps the connection fresh between y'all. But when you get to mid-20s, 30s, bro, you feel me? Like, I don't really see where you make lasting connections. Like, you might work, at the mill for 10 years and none, like you've been working with the same guys for 10 years and none of them have really become your homies. And some of them do. So I don't really think being a world traveler affects that. I think it really just depends on you and whoever it is you're meeting, right?
Become lifelong friends, but that's very rare because when you hang out with somebody for 3 days and you have a lot of great time, but you know that you're going your own separate ways in 3 more days, you're not going to make the effort to make that connection last. Hey, bruh, I know a lot of young people fantasize about being a world traveler.
Okay, so I thought this video was longer, but if you read the comments, a lot of people don't like this take. And I thought the take was cool until you broke it down, right? So if you play the video, he's talking about how he's been a world traveler for maybe 20 plus, 30 plus years. Now, you can correct me. The terminology digital nomad did not become a thing until about 2020. We're not even a decade into being a digital nomad. It's still a brand new thing, right? Some people were doing it earlier, where they had the really early jobs where you could teach online. But it's not really a commonality, right? So for him to have been a world traveler, the only thing I could imagine he was doing was he was figuring out work wherever he was traveling to, or he was in the military, right? Where he already had a foundation being built for him, right? So it's like he's speaking from a place of privilege to me. And I haven't confirmed whether he was in the military or not, but if you ask me, I would assume that. So he came home, he built his life up, had the wife, did whatever, bought the house. And now he's gained all of this life experience from being a world traveler. And now it's almost like you're discouraging people from doing it. Now, obviously, his caveat is if you don't have a family or a career to come back to, right? If you don't have a family, you don't have a house, you don't have anything that you own to come back to, don't travel. Focus on building that first before you travel. I can't necessarily disagree with that, but the problem with that statement that I have always read is that the older people that give this commentary never actually account for what the young individual is doing. I don't know a single young person traveling abroad that is not working and trying to build something for themselves. I don't know a single person. I meet some people that come out here and like they screw around, but a lot of the guys that come out here and they screw around, they're really just screwing around for a short time before they go back home. The people that are staying out here, they're building up their social media, they're building up marketing, they're building up YouTube pages. And trust me, I get it. Oh, that's not going to guarantee pay you. A lot of YouTubers don't make any money. But see, the thing is, when you're young, that's the brokest you're ever going to be, is when you're in your 20s and your 30s. You're not going to figure out the longevity of what you're doing until you've been doing it for like 10 years. And then you can understand that. I think that's one thing that doesn't speed up, right? For some people, they get to the money faster, but that doesn't mean they've built up the experience to know how to keep it. So I feel like right now, the way I view travel, especially in this digital age where you have digital nomads, people making money on the internet, people being content creators, AI is helping people make more money than they've ever made in life, literally break through generational gaps and just be able to build wealth. I think this is not really a good statement. It's dated, right? This is something that would have made a lot of sense 20, 30 years ago, even 15 years ago, but it doesn't even make sense to say this to a young person now because the world is changing, right? A lot of people don't have job stability in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and they never will have job stability there, right? Because AI is taking people's jobs. Greedy corporate people are trying to cut people's jobs to try to accommodate for the AI they think is going to be more intelligent than humans and more useful than humans. And in a lot of cases, AI is more useful than hiring a human being. I know I've cut down my workforce. For the last 7 years, I have always had at least 3-4 people on payroll 24/7. Even if I had the money or not, I'd get the money and make sure they got paid. And now that I've gotten better with AI, I virtually haven't need to hire anybody. So it definitely is affecting the job market for sure. You know what I mean? But now with the age of like the internet, I can work and make my own money on the internet. I can build my business. I can build my brand. I could build a business and sell it later and sell it for a crazy amount of money that will never make me have to ever work again, or just being smarter. I think travel, what it does for a lot of young people like myself is I get to hone in on my health. I get to hone in on my finances. I get to actually look at what a Roth IRA is, how much to invest in it, how much to put into it, how to grow as a content creator, how to grow as a business person, and apply all of this to myself. Meanwhile, being able to pick up new culture. And I'm going to tell you something, being someone who's been living overseas the way I have, I've been able to actually understand economics more than I ever have, because I can actually live in a country where the economy is different, and I can directly see the influence of foreign money influencing an entire economy. Now that starts to open your eyes on what kind of business to do, what kind of education you should try to receive. What are some of the just differences between where you come from and where you currently are? So I think there's a lot of wisdom that comes with travel. And I think when you try to discourage people from traveling because they're not stable in a country that unfortunately is becoming unstable, the dollar is less than 3% of what it was worth since 1913. I don't see the benefit in that. You're just shooting somebody's wings off. You're chopping someone's wings off before they could fly. I think a lot of people will learn how to be successful being a digital nomad. The world is changing. Whether you guys want to admit this or not, the whole world is changing. This is why I've been trying to embrace it and teach it to my community, offer opportunities. I know we can make this, everything travel and girls and partying, but it's really about sustaining this lifestyle. It's being able to actually sustain it, because I honestly believe being a digital nomad is going to be one of the only ways you don't get caught up in the chain gang, number one. Number two, being one of the ways you don't get permanently stuck in the rat race. A lot of smarter guys are taking their retirement, which would make them pretty well off in the US, and they're going to a country and they say, yo, bro, my money goes way farther here. I live like a king here. I could do whatever I want here. A lot of rich people do that too. They get money and they go to another country. They're living on an island somewhere. They're avoiding taxes. They're enjoying their life. And it's like, we thought for so long, if we didn't become super wealthy and super rich, we would never be able to truly enjoy our lives. I'm telling you guys, man, I live a very interesting lifestyle, bro. I can wake up whenever I want. The only reason I make myself wake up in the morning is to enforce discipline on myself, because now I don't have a work schedule or a school schedule. I got to give myself the schedule. But I could do what I want. If tomorrow I say, hey, man, I want to just go to Brazil and just go there for 3 weeks, as long as I have enough money in the bank, I can go do that. At a job, I got to take time off. I got to do this. I got to do that. And the fact that I could move wherever I want, whenever I want, my networking opportunities increase as well. I can meet people that could actually push what I'm doing to the next level, because they're like, hey, I didn't even meet this guy, in New York or Texas or Florida. I met him in Cancun. I met him in Brazil. I met him in Medellin. I met him in Japan. So it's you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of benefit to this lifestyle. I don't like when people talk down on it. I could understand his point is to build something stable first. Trust me. But I don't really see how much stable you're going to be in an economy that's closing in on itself. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about that.